But it looks like we're joined alongside Alycia Baumgardner. Alycia, if you could just put this headset on so they can hear you. And we do appreciate you giving us a couple of minutes.
Today?
So I guess we'll start off by your appearance as a manager for Tony Harrison. That probably was one of the most exciting moments there because everyone's looking around like, is Tony going to have representation? And you pop up and you're like, we're willing to make that fight. So tell me, how'd you come about? How'd that happen?
Honestly, I think it was the perfect timing. You know, as a team, as Tony being my trainer, we all win, and I think it's just important to speak up when it's time, and the time was now. You know, he wants to be back in the ring.
So did you know that you were going to have to speak on his behalf today?
No, but I knew. But I'm like, okay, this is a mandatory. I'm like, you know, Samson's up there speaking for Sebastian. I'm like, I need to go speak up there for Tony. Why not?
Sarah was telling me that she's like, girl, you better go.
Yeah.
So
listen.
did Tony know you were before you got up there?
No.
Oh, wow.
No.
So he knows now.
So you didn't text him?
I mean, I did, but my message sent late. He was in the gym, so I'm just like, I'm going to do it, bet.
Okay. So as a fighter, I'm assuming you did it because you think that's a good fight and a winnable fight for Tony Harrison versus Sebastian Fundora.
I do. Yeah, absolutely. Again, when you have a fighter like Tony Harrison who's been wanting, you know, to still show the pedigree of the fighter that he is, I think the fight with Sebastian's great. It's going to show the pedigree and the high-level skill that Tony Harrison has against Sebastian, and I think it's going to be great.
They do share that common opponent, Danny. Obviously, they both fought Sergio Garcia, and I have to admit, Tony did a lot better.
Yeah, Tony
than
did look a
Fundora.
lot better, and that was a recent win as well, so definitely looking forward to that fight. But a fight that we were really looking forward to was yours, champ. Was your unification with Michaela Mayer. You know, I was blessed to be in camp with you, and, you know, you made us a lot of fucking money that night.
Okay.
I parlayed you with Clarissa, and I was mad because the fight got canceled, and I thought they was going to take my bet because I got y'all both as underdogs. So I'm like, oh, my God, it's going to get canceled. They're going to make me, you know, bet again, and you're going to be a favorite now. She's going to be a favorite, but they locked it in, and we were good.
Dope.
Yeah, shout out to Danny for making the trip over there because that – opened up a lot of people's eyes. I don't know. It's so strange.
I feel like we're big believers in what we see in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, we're around enough top talent to know, like, okay.
What top talent what they're supposed to train like. You know, we're around enough elite-level fighters that if you're an elite-level fighter, you should be training like the ones we've seen, or there should be slight differences, but nothing less than. And that was, you know, inevitable with you.
People don't realize, like, a lot of these fighters, they don't really put that dog work in. So it was like, I went up to Detroit. It was hot as fuck, bro. Let me tell you, it was so humid. Like, I was trying to be shirtless in the gym. But it was so fucking hot. And, you know, saw the dog work that got put in. And, you know.
Yeah, no, I think it was important just, again, because you guys get to see the different side of it, right? You know, we work in the gym. The roof's getting fixed. It's hot as hell. We still putting in the work, and it's just something that it's an eye that you see when you see someone training. Like, yeah, this is gonna be good.
Now, obviously, the fight got postponed about 5 weeks due to the Queen's passing. What were those 5 weeks like for you? Because for us, we're like, fuck, why so soon? Because it's almost like
an extended camp.
Like, you know, fighters, to me, train to peak at the right time. So it's like you were ready to fight September 10th. Now you got to redo it, refocus, and do it October 15th. What were those 5 weeks of adjustment, or what was that time period like for you?
Yeah, well, I first would say I'm a gym rat. I stay in the gym. Boxing is a lifestyle. So it was like going back to the gym to be in better shape, you know, to sharpen up even more. So I was excited. Everything worked in my favor. I took everything as a positive. And it was a harder camp the second go around.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm all for pushing myself and all for, you know, making the necessary changes that was going to make me unified champion of the world. And that's exactly what we did.
Did anything surprise you about Michaela Mayer? Like, actually in the fight?
What surprised me was that she didn't come forward as much as I thought she was going to. You know, I think she thought in the back of her head, I'm just going to box her. I'm the better boxer. And I proved that I was a better boxer.
I mean, you kind of shocked me. I didn't expect you to start off the back foot. Why did you think you started that way?
Because for one, I'm a professional at what I do, and I understand that people wanted to see like a dog fight, like a brawl. But I'm a professional fighter. I've been doing this for a very long time, and I'm gonna fight a smart fight. And my jab was just working. I'm like, oh, I'm having fun with this. So you know what I'm saying? So when it's working,
I feel like you were having too much fun the first couple rounds. Did you feel that way?
Man, listen, Tony, I get back to the corner. He's like, just calm down for a second. I'm like, I got it. But no, it was. I'm like, man, this is. Like, I've been waiting for this. I'm like, oh yeah, I got her in the bag.
I want to talk about the build-up because there was a lot of shit that was talked, not just the first build-up. Not just the
even post-fight.
Yeah, no, and that's what I was saying. I'm like, not just for the September 10th date, for the October 15th date, in the ring, after the ring, and
still on Twitter.
Like,
y'all still going at it.
I told you off camera, but I feel like she's a bit salty.
Listen, she's a salty-ass girl. And for someone to talk that much, I'm just like, yo, I cannot wait to fight this girl and beat her and let her eat every word that she's talked about me. She's overlooked me. She was talking crazy. I'm like, you got the right one. Like, I'm so ready for you. You have no clue.
I got to ask about the shirts. Where'd you draw the inspiration off the shirts?
What do you mean?
The
What
dog
shirts?
walking.
Oh, I thought about it, and I told a designer, I'm like, listen, I need this shirt. She's the poodle. Make sure you put her face on it. I'm dog walking
with the
this
white
girl.
picket fence.
With
too.
the white picket fence.
That's funny.
Because
I
at
loved
first,
it.
you know, way back when I did that interview, I'm just like, she's just a dog that keeps barking. You feel me?
Right.
Behind a white picket fence. So
But
it was
after the
perfect.
fight, you still feel like that? You don't think she showed some dog actually?
No.
Really? Wow.
No. No.
What's your thoughts on her saying you didn't earn those belts?
Again, that's coming from a salty bitch. That's coming from someone who's salty, who knows that I beat her, that she's forever going to remember my name. And on paper, like she was saying, on paper, I'm your biggest test. Well, guess what? You got your first L by Alycia Baumgardner, and that's everything.
Champ, I got to ask because the night almost felt like you were the UK fighter. You've fought over there. You're obviously with Matchroom. Did you feel that way? Because you came out, turned the fuck up to Cardi and 4-2 Dud. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, she lit. She going to the club. Like, what's going on? So did you feel comfortable and just at home, even though it was in London?
So comfortable, you know, the UK tells a story. When I first went there in Sheffield, you know, defended my title in Manchester, and then fighting at the O2, it was home to me. There was comfortability there, and I'm just like, AB, live in the moment, because this time is here and it's gone, you know, and it just happened so fast, and, you know, the ring walk was everything. I was just living it, man. It was everything.
I got to ask.
Producer sent me something. What is this?
Make let Mary know what time it is. You know, I'm top dog. She's never been in a ring with a dog before. You know, I'm a pit bull chained up. She's like the poodle in a picket white fence. You know what I'm saying? Barking for no reason.
Yo, our producer's
Shout out to the
amazing.
producer.
He got that
He-
shit quick as fuck.
I like that. I
You
like
just
that.
said
No,
that.
I guarantee he got the shit on tuck. shit was in a file like
Yes.
Baumgardner. Champ, what's up with all look, we do our show every fucking day and anytime your name comes up, it's always cats like, stop talking about my girl, stop talking about my
everybody's
woman.
claiming you.
Everybody
I know.
claiming you. I'm like,
wild as hell out here in these streets. Listen, I'm married to the game, okay? I don't worry about none of them.
alright.
So
Just
are we
wanted to
worried
clear
about
the air.
Troy? Are we worried about
Is
Troy?
Troy
Is
next?
that fight going to happen?
Listen, that fight is definitely being talked about and negotiated. Here's the thing I want people to understand. I'm in control now. You know, I can run my division the way I want to run my division, okay? So even if we don't get Choi next, we are still going to have a fight. And it's important that I stay busy. You know, I'm out here still grinding and progressing. You know, Choi's going to happen, but guess what? The best part about women's boxing is the build-up, is promoting the fights. And I don't want this fight to happen so quick when there's nothing behind it. You know, it's important that we put, you know, the promotion behind this fight. It's a good story between Choi and I. We're both Korean. I think, you know, where she comes from a background that has a lot of history, you know. Coming from over there, you really have to make it out of there. and we share a lot of things. So I'm excited for that fight. And again, we need that undisputed fight at 130.
Yeah.
I need all the belts.
Now, around the division, I still think there's some very entertaining fights.
Huge fight with
lucrative
Serrano.
fights. With Katie, I'm just curious. Did you see her last fight?
I did, yes. Seen it, and I'm just like, yeah, I need that. Put me in, coach. I need that. Only because
What is Matchroom saying? Are they going to keep you away, or are they willing to?
Because they love her.
They love her.
Like Matchroom. Katie Taylor is Matchroom's Vasyl Lomachenko.
That's Matchroom's AJ. Female version of AJ.
I would agree to that. At the end of the day, it's business. It's cool to like who you like and to have who you have. But at the end of the day, I see that, they love Katie Taylor. If she wants to, retire undefeated, cool. But I want the best. She's a high-skill fighter, and I'm like, I need that because that makes me better. And I think they're not I don't think they're turning the cheek from it. I'll tell you that much.
Have you had
I
conversations
have.
like, I want her, Eddie?
Yeah.
And what's he say? Does he give you the smile? Like,
we see. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Champ, so how many more fights do you have with Matchroom and Eddie Hearn?
So we have a 1-year contract.
Okay.
So technically, one fight, but everything changes when you win more belts. Negotiations and
Yeah, no, I was just asking. I saw you out there in Abu Dhabi having a good time. I'm like, maybe they talk some business. You just looked impressive. So I'm like, maybe they
definitely made some connections out there. Shout out to Matchroom for really taking care of their champion. And yeah, we
First
definitely
time
made
out
some
there?
connections. Yeah, it was so dope. I loved it.
Yeah, I saw Ferrari Road, right? What was your favorite part about the Middle East?
I would say going to the desert and riding the Can-Am. Like, I love fast stuff, so I'm whipping that thing. Like, let's go. I'm ripping.
Oh, we got to go. Sean was actually inviting us, and we just been so busy with this.
We trying to go jet skiing before we leave, so.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
Oh, dope. When?
Probably
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Or tomorrow.
Yeah,
because tomorrow's our last full day.
Yeah.
Then we leave Friday morning.
When you leave?
I leave tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
In and out.
Well, I think that's all the questions, unless you have anything else.
Yeah, I know she got to get go eat. She hasn't ate.
I do want to talk about. I do want to ask just in case. Is Serrano an option for you?
Anybody's an option.
Okay.
Again, I want to fight the best, and I say that in a respectful way because people are like, oh, you need to rematch this. Listen, this is boxing.
Bro, they really delusional.
What?
Look at Jacob said. My baby just joking right now, guys. Ha. She knows she with me. Y'all is terrible.
That's delusional.
Y'all is terrible, yo.
They was wild.
Y'all, Champ, I heard some rumors that maybe Matchroom might be coming to the Motor City.
Yep. I told him that I've been wanting my homecoming fight. I think that's important. I think it's big for Detroit. Boxing is big in Detroit. And to have the, undisputed fight there, a fight there is big. And they're willing, and I'm willing, and I can sell tickets. I've been a club fighter, so I know everything about.
I gotta ask:
seats.
Is it the last big fight out there? Is Bradley and Devin Alexander? No.
In
Don't
Detroit.
quote me.
I mean, Clarissa fought for Undisputed in Detroit.
Oh.
That was Flint.
She didn't fight Hammer in Detroit.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Yeah. Okay, he knows his stuff.
Yeah, no, he's the almanac. He's the almanac. That's what we have put that name on him because he got all those dates on cap. But I do think that the last men's fight was they were both undefeated, Devin and Bradley.
That
I'm
was
pretty
a long
sure.
ass time ago.
Long HBO days, brother.
Yeah,
HBO.
HBO.
Yeah, no, I definitely would love to come to Detroit for a fight.
So.
Yeah.
You're originally from Ohio.
I'm originally from Ohio, yes.
Because, they say Ohio runs boxing, and there are a lot of great fighters that come out of Ohio. So when did you transition to Detroit?
When I decided to change my trainers, it's important as a fighter to continue to grow. I stayed in Ohio for a long time. There was nothing there left for me, I appreciate where I come from. But I had to change it up. Went to Detroit, went to Crunk, worked with Sugar Hill, Jonathan Banks, worked my way over to Super Bad Boxing Gym, and I'm happy where I'm at. And again, it's just being in the city of Detroit is dope.
Mm-hmm. So how'd you find that fit? Because if you started with Sugar Hill, such a legendary trainer, I'm sure tons of fighters were going in and out of there, mostly probably heavyweights, but how'd you end up with Harrison?
Again, when I left here, Sugar Hill, I went over to Tony's gym. Obviously, met his dad. And Tony's gym is just a dog pound. You've
It
been there,
is.
and it's just a grit, hard working gym. And that's what I'm used to. And so when I went there, I'm like, this is a perfect fit. It's family oriented. Everybody supports everybody. So
I gotta ask, what
Felt right at home.
did you ever? Obviously, with the passing of Tony's father, some could have said you could have worked with another trainer. What was it about Tony and LJ that made you stay? Because obviously Tony, he was never in that position, at least not at your level.
Yeah.
right. I mean, just the family dynamic, one, and then two, just knowing where I started and where I was able to go and grow from that, right? I could have left and went with somebody else, but I'm like, I'm going to stay here. Tony's always been a trainer. He's always trained his amateur kids, and I've watched him train. So
No, and that's why I did say like not at your level, because I watch
Yeah,
it.
he was at a tournament in Philly the
Eh,
other day. Not
he-
the other day, but
He is very interesting as a trainer, because I remember when you got in the ring, you're moving around and he just like sitting in the corner, and he didn't say shit the first round, and I'm like, okay. And then I just had to move closer because I feel like he was whispering. And then after like the third or fourth round, it was like very hands-on, and I honestly grew a lot of appreciation for Tony, seeing that, because even with his amateurs, it was the same thing. It's like, okay, cool, Alicia's doing her thing. He working with the kids. And the way he's hands-on, I feel like is not typical out of a boxing trainer, but it's very unique, and obviously it's working.
Yeah, no.
Obviously it's working.
It's working great, and like you mentioned, Tony is definitely hands-on. If he sees something and he knows how it should be, he wants nothing less. We know what I'm capable of doing, and he knows that. So I think it's just important and then also, he's a fighter, I'm a fighter, and when you have that comparison and that comfortability in the corner, man, it works like freaking. It's like you're in the gym. I'm like, bet I got you. You know what I'm saying? So that works as well. And I think with anything that I've learned as in being a pro, your corner is everything. When I took my first loss, I was out of it in the corner. Like, I wasn't connecting with my trainer, and that's major.
why do you think you weren't connecting with him? Is it just the synergy wasn't there?
Yeah,
Or
you
You
build-
hadn't faced that adversity together yet.
that's part of it, and I think you just have to have. There's a certain chemistry that you have with your trainer, and because it was so fresh and new, it was just like, dang, like this is not working, this is not clicking. I know when it clicks for me.
In that fight, did you get warmed up? Did they give you pad work? I'm asking because we had a conversation with Nonito, and he said how important that was for him, and he had went into a fight. His father wasn't allowed in the country, so he didn't get that normal pad work that he gets before every fight, and he kind of attributes that loss to not being warmed up. Just want to know if anything, because you think of Gary Russell, his first loss to Lomachenko, he's like, oh, I took a sauna the week before. So I just want to know, is there anything, or do you feel, nah, I just lost? It wasn't
No, I mean, we did pad work for sure, but I just think that day, my outside life wasn't corresponding with inside the ring, and that's important as well. We know that if your outside life ain't it, the inside won't be. So I had to change my circle, my team, everything, and it was necessary. I'm thankful for my loss. That made me grow so much, and that's what people have to understand. It's okay if you're gotta go, because guess what, baby? I'm unified champion of the world, and I'm thriving right now.
Champ, I don't think I've ever asked, what made you get into boxing?
My dad. So
wow.
in the hometown that I'm from in Fremont, it's small. Charles Woodson's from Fremont, so small little community. And we had a boxing gym that was free to the community. So it was to help kids get off the streets, teach them discipline, what respect is. And my dad's like, you want to try boxing? I'm like, sure, because I wrestled first. And wrestling was over, and I'm like, yeah, I'll try boxing.
Yeah, I didn't even know women's wrestling
existed.
it was a thing, but I guess it's Ohio. I know wrestling is huge out there.
But see, I was wrestling boys, though.
Oh, wow.
I was wrestling boys. So, that really shaped me
Uh-oh.
to get into
You've
the
always
sport.
had that.
You can't say that and not trigger my mind. You weren't here yesterday for the WBC women's panel, but they did interject transgender boxing. What is your stance? Would you be open to fighting a man that identifies as a woman?
Hell no.
Me neither.
No,
I don't know. I don't get that.
That's not logical. We have to be logical when we bring up these type of conversations.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not logical. There's harm in that. You know,
Absolutely.
Boxing's already a harmful sport. You know,
Yep.
let's not make it more complicated than what it already is.
So you think a league needs to be a separate league should be created or needs to be created for these individuals? Because I am pretty sure there is one transgender man that identifies as a woman that's already been boxing and getting fights.
You know, honestly, whatever that looks like for them, I think they
Actually, I'm sorry. He's a woman that identifies as a man now. So
Okay.
that's even worse.
I mean, I think they have to rally for that. You know, that's them. That's their avenue. Rally for that. I can only speak for what I'm doing.
Champ,
Speaking of what you're doing, the women again, they were debating 2 or 3 minute rounds. I'll give credit to Marlon Esparza, who says that you guys need to come together, maybe have your own women's meeting, decide as a whole if you want 2 or 3 minute rounds, then push for that. But I want to know your stance. Do you think you want that extra minute?
I think that's a good way to do is to get all the women together just to hear the different opinions. You know, I'm stuck in the middle because I can fight 3 minutes. And I can also get a knockout in 2 minutes. But I also see the pedigree of the fighters. You know, I wouldn't want to see a low pedigree fight with the 3 minute rounds. I wouldn't. I would rather see 2 minutes. But I think at a high level fight like, you know, Katie and Amanda, I think that's a great 3 minute fight. A fight with Mia Mayer would have been great for a 3 minute fight because these are high skilled fighters that we're dealing with. So, but at the end of the day, if we had to come to a decision, I think 12 2-minute rounds would be.
that's
Oh, wow.
actually what Marlon.
Marlon said, let's shoot for that first.
I even told you because at the end of the day, it's like, okay, cool. Do we want to add 4 minutes to a fight or do we want to add an extra 10 to a fight? So I think, you know, moving slowly, definitely. But some of the arguments the women was making yesterday was ridiculous. I swear to God.
Y'all probably like these women.
No. Hear me. One woman said, she
don't
said,
do it.
I cannot fight 3 minutes because I have to go home and cook
he
for my
gonna do
husband
it.
and my kids food that I probably won't be able to eat because I'm a fighter. And I'm like, you just got a bad husband. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? What are we talking about?
Yeah, because during camp, if you're married, I want to hope your husband is, like, cooking for his motherfucking self. Because
Right.
my wife got to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could cook for my family if my wife is going to be busy for 8 weeks. But
Listen, it's all about balance at the end of the day.
Mhm.
You know, it's definitely doable. I think 12 2-minute rounds would be perfect. Again, women give exciting fights. That's what draws attention as well. Like, you're going to see a 2-minute fight full of action, and you will see knockouts as well.
so one thing that they kept doing that I was very upset about was I felt they were minimizing the women that did want more than 2 minutes by saying, well, look at Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. They produced action in 2 minutes. So you don't need an extra minute. They did it. And it's like, I don't think that's an answer. I don't think because one fight was exciting in 2 minute rounds that it's should be, I guess, telling everyone that 2 minutes produces action, because what about the fighter that needs that minute to figure you out? The Floyd Mayweather download style.
I feel like I'm a 3-minute fighter. You know what I'm saying?
And you guys are sparring 3
3
minutes.
minutes,
I
and
don't
that's
know
the
any
thing.
female. I go to the gyms. I'm not a dude that we see these females sparring grown-ass men with 16-ounce gloves for 3 minutes. So it's like, police them in the gym. If you're worried about the fight night and you're making them, you know, they're training 3 minutes. Like, do you do 10 rounds or 12 rounds? It's like, and what woman wants to be less than? If the men are sparring for 3, how would you look saying, hey, can you turn the clock? You know? If the men are doing 12, how do you look? We're only doing 10. It's still competition. You didn't get in this sport because you're a man or a woman. You got in it because you're competitive.
See, and what they're saying is, oh, well, we got the studies. So I went up there, I said, where are the studies for the gym? Because these women are, first of all, 95, if not more % of the shots you take in the gym. You don't
Yes.
take in the fight. So where's the studies on that? Because if it's such a concern, then you should be encouraging all your women fighters to not spar men and not spar 3-minute rounds in the gym.
And it needs to be policed, because how do you know Baumgardner's not sparring men in the gym?
Right.
You know?
But she is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they got to, you know, it's
But
definitely
that's my
one
point.
with the other.
It's an oxymoron to me, because it's like we all know seldomly do boxing gyms have women that can spar each other.
Right.
You know?
Listen,
So
I was thankful to have women sparring this lap.
Really?
This last camp, yeah. Great fighter, man.
so you
She's up and coming,
you
bro.
brought them in, or she just
No,
had?
she trains at her gym.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she's a
Pro
26
or?
She's pro, 26 pounder. Her name's Faye, hard hitter. She got more of a Tyson, like slipping. She's gonna be a
Wait, Faye?
yeah, Faye.
What's her first name?
Faye.
Last?
Fee. They call her Fee or Faye.
Is that the? Does her
She's-
nickname like Lady Tyson?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know-
Wait, is she all the way? But
I thought
Are
she
we
was
talking
in
about
a.
are we talking about the same person? She was in New York.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
her.
yeah, her.
Yeah, she got one loss. She got that
Yeah.
Mike Tyson's. Yeah,
Did she
yeah,
have
yeah.
a loss though?
I think so, or draw, right? I remember they were pushing her last year heavy. Maybe that's how you met her, because she got a trainer switch.
I met her when I went to Philly, and they're like, "Yeah, you about to fight Baby Tyson." I'm like, "Okay." So I sparred her. I'm like, "Damn, this girl can work." And
That's her?
Oh hell no.
No,
What?
no, she looks younger. She looks more like she looks like
has no-
Filipino, right?
Yeah,
Yo,
has
I
no
typed
social
in
media.
Lady Tyson and Lucia.
She's Samoan. She's
Well, that's why I
Samoan,
said she
yeah.
looks. No, she definitely has an Instagram.
Does she? Oh yeah, you're right, but she don't run it. She don't run it. But
Oh,
no,
she's-
she's great though, bro. She's
Let me see the
next
spelling.
up.
Did you find the spelling? Because the
Nah.
spelling is not normal.
I think it's FEI.
Uh-oh, the promoter's on you.
Yeah, Marshall, like, it's time to wrap it up, guys.
Oh,
Chan,
man.
what you got going on right there?
Bro, that's the fighting now. I'm following a boxing page. It's not my
Oh,
fault
all
that
I-
they
no,
got a girl's ass
I
out.
just see yams on the screen. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck going on.
Let me see if Lady Tyson comes up. Oh, my God, I know her. You know, Shadeja Green actually sparred.
I don't even think. I don't know.
She's
Don't-
short, right?
Yeah, she's short.
Yeah, and she's a smaller weight.
Yeah.
I can't find her. No, the girl from upstate New York. They call her like Lady Tyson.
name's
Her
Faye.
style is like
Faye.
this.
Fee.
Fee or Faye or Favi or something like that.
That's her last name, Fabia.
I'm telling you,
Fee,
I just can't
Fabia,
remember.
Something like that.
I
That's
can't
bad.
remember
We
the
need to get
spelling,
her
but it
name
doesn't
together.
matter. But I did want to give her a credit. If the champion is saying she got it prepared and
yeah.
she was so good.
She got me
but
prepared for sure.
I see your team is here. We're going to wrap it up as well. And thank you so much. Please give out your social media for anybody who doesn't know where to follow you can do so.
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram at Alycia Baumgardner and on Twitter at Alycia M. Baum.
And bomb. All right. Well, I think, Danny, I did see Marv, if you want to give one spin to sit him down. If not, we can start. Family, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us get to that 1 million subscribers. We're on the road to 1 million. And obviously, we have other great content on our Patreon channel. So since this video is over, head on over to our Patreon and check out all the exclusive content or right here on our YouTube members.